can't ignore you. Let the madness begin like doors before you. Light 'em all up now, 'cause this is my house, my house. The time is now, runners one, they can't ignore you. Let the madness begin like doors before you. Light 'em all up now, 'cause this is my house, my house.
Ooh, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Aired Out Podcast. I'm JD Green. Right across from me is Raylene on this delightful Tuesday morning. The sun is shining. It's already, 200 degrees outside, Raylene?
It's definitely hot.
Did you see that picture I took of my temperature in my car yesterday?
I did. It must have been sitting for a bit on the hot asphalt, I'm assuming.
Exactly. I mean, as soon as I started driving, got a little wind on the front of the car. I think it came down to like 95 or 94 or something like that. But
Yeah.
I got in my car. I tried freaking turn the motor on, and I'm like, oh, my God.
And it kicked the blast of hot air out at you,
Yes.
out the vents.
Oh, it was brutal. Mm-hmm. Absolutely brutal yesterday. And
It was.
today it's going to be pretty similar.
Yeah. Humidity just a tad bit lower, not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it says it's 74 right now, and it says it feels like 74. I don't know if I don't know. I think it feels hotter than that. But
Well, I connected with Roger Hill this morning, and I'm trying to get him on the air with me. And he's just running around like a madman.
I'm sure.
He did tell me, though, that we do have a heat advisory this afternoon and this evening. I finally got the air conditioner in my bedroom last night. Took me long enough, I know. This is the latest that I've ever had the air conditioner in. I've been busy, and it's like last night, just had to do it.
Yeah.
So we have some afternoon clouds, some filtered sunshine, some isolated showers and thunderstorms in eastern Vermont today, but above normal temps and rather humid. Roger's saying 85 to 90, and again with that heat advisory and the heat index, going to be even hotter than that. So before I even talk about tonight's weather, and before we even talk about tomorrow's weather, let's just pause for a second, as you and I have done many times in the past, and say, before we start talking more weather and more numbers and heat advisories and all this stuff, please just keep an eye on people that you know who are older with weather like this.
Yeah.
Not everybody has air conditioning. If you know an elderly person who lives in your neighborhood, or someone that maybe even doesn't live in your neighborhood,
Right.
Just pick up the phone and call them.
Yes.
Don't text them. Just call them and say, "How you doing? Are you staying cool? Is everything good?" Don't be out mowing your lawn, stuff like that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Also, folks who are disabled in some way, check on them. Just make sure they're okay.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
If you want to be an asshat and go out and do construction in your yard and decide you're going to move everything out of the attic, that's your choice. But just make sure that your people that you know who, I don't know, we know that weather like this, people can die.
Yes. We do know that.
And they do. So, and let's also say, let's talk about pets too. You know, if you have pets that live outdoors, even, you know, and I'm not being funny, I'm being serious. Even chickens, even you know, livestock. Make sure that they've got some shade and some water. That's it.
That's it.
And don't. I'm not even going to say asshat. I'm going to say asshole. And put them in your car, and go do errands today. Even with the air conditioning on, just don't do it. The dogs should not be in cars when it's this hot.
Right.
And do we even need to talk about, you know, leaving your kids in the car? Should we even go there?
Well, I would hope not, but you never know. I mean, people do it.
Yeah.
If the car's running and the AC's blasting, and you can lock the doors so that nobody jumps in and drives away with your kids and your car. But yeah.
I don't even know if I would do that. I mean, it's just so hot. It's so hot. And the inside of your car, do you know what? I shouldn't tell you this. I shouldn't tell anyone this. Do you know what I found in my car yesterday on the back seat?
I can only imagine.
Something that I had forgotten that I had put back there. A screw gun. And it had the battery in it and everything. The inside of the back of my car is like 10,000 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing? I got to get this thing out of my car. I'm going to have a fire.
You could.
Anyway, good morning, Bill and Barb and Glenn and Roseanne and Stacy and Chris and everyone else that's tuned in this morning. So now that we got that, let's say tonight, some isolated showers. Any storms should be exiting out of New England. We'll have mostly cloudy skies. Still going to be muggy, though. Upper 60s for the low. That's AC weather right there. And then Wednesday, tomorrow. So here we go. We have clouds and some sunshine. This is from Roger Hill just now. Actually, a little bit cooler. I think that's that cool front that's coming in. But showers likely late morning on. And Roger is saying the rain is going to be heavy at times with a few embedded thunderstorms, especially in northern Vermont, and highs around 80. The showers continue Wednesday night, heavy at times. Again, some more embedded thunderstorms in there, upper 60s, and then looks like Thursday, still some scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Some could be heavy. Kind of depends on where you are. Friday, partly sunny. However, still, again, some showers and some thunderstorms that have the potential to produce some heavy rain. So I think with this said, we're starting out this morning by saying there's a pretty good amount of concern with this weather.
There is, and we've heard that. And I would like to say that I've seen some, and first of all, I'll start by saying I understand the worry. We had a lot of losses here as well. A lot of very close friends had a lot of losses, and I totally understand the nervous, sick to my stomach feeling, because I feel that way too. I'm very concerned.
Yeah.
But I also know that the only thing we can do is be vigilant. Vermont Emergency Management, sign up, make sure you're getting the notices. The city has promised to use that service. They have been using it the last couple of times. They are pretty good about updating the website as quick as they can, as does the local fire departments, not just Berry City, but Montpelier, Berlin. Everyone tries to do that. But do the things that you can do ahead of time. And then I just want to say, for all of the horrible, nasty comments that I've seen in regards to, well, I hope the city is prepared. I hope they finally pulled their head out of their ass and flushed the drains and the whatever. It doesn't matter how hard they worked at making all of that happen.
Right.
It's kind of like when you turn the water on in a bathroom sink on blast and it fills up really quick. Right. And if you don't turn the water down a little bit and give it a chance to gulp,
yep,
it's not going to drain. And so when it comes super fast, it doesn't matter what they've done to prepare. That's what's going to happen until it gets a minute to gulp. And if you're chugging a drink, the same thing. Until you gulp, it's just all going to stay in your mouth, or you're going to possibly drown in it. It's just the way it is. But it doesn't mean that people have just been sitting around with their heads up their asses doing nothing. And
well said.
I think that the city employees have tried really hard to do what they can to make sure that everything is under control, and that's all they can do.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
I just got this in it. I want to show this because this is time-sensitive stuff, and I'm going to put this on the on the screen. And it's pretty small print, so I'm not sure who can read this, but I'm going to read it for you in case you can't. It says, the information in this email pertains to all of Vermont, as well as Clinton, Essex, Franklin, and St. Lawrence counties in New York. What has changed? A heat advisory has been issued today from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. for eastern Essex County of New York, western Addison, and western Rutland counties of Vermont for heat indices of up to 98 degrees. The overview: the remnants of Tropical Cyclone Beryl will lead to scattered flash flooding across the North Country and Vermont Wednesday and Wednesday night, especially given the recent rainfall and saturated grounds. This is like exactly what happened last year to the day, Raylene. Mm-hmm. Mainstream river flooding is possible on Thursday as the bulk of the rain ends. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us 24/7 by telephone, by email, and by chat. And I'm going to put that information in the comments section right now so that people can read that. This is coming from NOAA, National Weather Service, and Vermont Emergency Management, who are monitoring the track of this remnants of this hurricane very carefully, and they're watching it. They're watching it.
Yes.
So there's the information. I just put it in the comment section for anyone to to see that, to read that. But that we've reached. Yesterday I was chatting with Joe Waldsworth. Last night I was chatting with Joe Waldsworth, and this morning I was chatting with Joe Waldsworth, our deputy chief. And bottom line is, he's in a 1 hour meeting that's going that started at 9 o'clock this morning with Vermont Emergency Management. So a lot of concern here.
Yes.
And NBC5 posted right here, and I'll share this as well. Torrential rain may lead to washed out roads and rising rivers on Wednesday. Beryl's torrential rain right here may lead to flash flooding Wednesday in Vermont and New York. So there's the pictures of the colors of what's coming. 1 year anniversary of last summer's devastating floods. So yeah, there is the legitimate concern, and like I said with Joe last night, we have to be careful to not overreact and not embellish things. We need to be careful with what we write on social media and how we respond and react to things, I know that we're all sensitive to this, but we just need to be responsible with how we react to it.
Right.
And don't be an asshat and be posting stuff that's that's not accurate.
Correct.
So that's it. I'm not sure what's happening here with our page, but it looks like we've lost things and now it's back. I don't know what's up.
I don't know. It's only on your end because I haven't lost anything over here.
Okay. All right. What do we have this morning? Is there anything that's hot that's going on? I see that we have everybody identified up in St. Johnsbury in that huge incident the other morning.
Yes, and they've added that one dog was killed and one dog is in critical condition and at a veterinary hospital in Massachusetts. There were kids at home. Those kids were not injured in any way physically, but certainly mentally.
Wow. Yes.
So good, but really, that's it. They haven't learned a lot more or said a lot more about what, why, any of that. So, yeah, it's
crazy.
It is crazy. They found the gentleman that was missing from Orange, and he has made contact with them. So he made contact with the state police and said that he is okay. So that's great news. Police.
Can we just say this? We don't need to know anything more than that.
Right, exactly. All he did was he contacted them and says he's okay.
That's all we need to know.
So police are right now currently searching for a stabbing suspect who is on the run after an altercation at a Vermont Park and Ride. That's the one that happened in Middlesex on June 28th. My dad and I actually were on the interstate traveling back home when all of that went down and saw all of the emergency crews and stuff headed that direction. It was crazy. But they say during a fight between two men in a parked vehicle, Shannon Edwards, 39, of Montpelier, stabbed the other man with a box cutter. Troopers say Edwards then stole money from the victim and fled the scene. The victim was treated at the hospital for his injuries. Edwards is described as a white man, 5'7", with short brown hair and hazel eyes. Police say he has a tattoo of a scorpion on his left forearm and a tribal tattoo in the area of his right shoulder and neck. So if you have any information about his whereabouts, they're asking that you contact them.
Wow.
So that, that's a pretty big deal, pretty big story.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. Let's see. Anything else real pressing? I don't think so. I mean, they are investigating as to whether or not the Dartmouth student that was found dead in the river, if that had to do with alcohol hazing. So they are looking into that, investigating further into his death. There's an article or a news report on NBC5 in regards to the frequent wrong way drivers that we've seen this year. And kind of talking about what is up with that. Is it actually markings and signage and paint and going into what is the problem? Yeah.
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 I mean,
let's
see. Bradford, St. Johnsbury, Colchester, Waterbury.
Yeah, it's happening a lot lately. It's crazy. It seems like at least once a week we hear lately that we've heard of such. And it ranges in age, too. It's not... We've had people in their 90s, people in their 70s. We've had some people that were under the influence of alcohol, some that were maybe under the influence of drugs.
And some under the influence of nothing.
Right. Some under the influence of absolutely nothing, just literally confused, not paying attention, or not from this area, and didn't understand the markings.
Right.
And then they have a flight to Charlotte was returned to Burlington after
Yes.
problems in the air. Again, something else that we're hearing about, almost constant in the news. I do not want to fly right now.
Yeah.
I've never been afraid of flying. I've never worried about flying, but right now I don't know that you could get me on a plane.
Yeah.
Because
Huge.
same constant issues where there's something going on in the air, and no, I just rather not.
I feel the same way. And I said yesterday on the air, I enjoy flying. I really do. But right now, I would probably pass. And it's not just with what's being in the news about Boeing and all that shit. It's in addition to that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Exactly. It's Cow Appreciation Day.
It's what?
Cow Appreciation Day.
Cow.
Yes. Appreciate those cows.
Give them some love.
Yeah.
Do cows have feelings?
Of course they do. Cows are actually super sensitive and they're very smart, and but they're also very routine oriented. And my son has proven it to me a couple of times. If you put one different thing in the aisle in the barn, and it's time for the girls to come in for their milking, and so you just set something in the aisle, they will literally come to a screeching halt at the door. They know that it's there, they know it's different, and they're not moving.
Really?
Yes. Just any little thing. They're a little bit finicky. The girls are.
Are you saying that the female gender is finicky, sensitive?
Female cows are finicky and sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jersey girls are cautious.
Right. And
So
and
what
that's
did-
what he has. He has all jerseys.
Yeah.
And they're very cautious. It's pretty incredible, actually.
I mean,
And he has a couple that they think they're dogs. They really do. They follow him around, especially the little ones, but they follow him around. They rub up against him and want his love all the time. It's absolutely adorable.
Yeah. It's Glenn that's saying Jersey girls are cautious. Now, I know that he has spent a lot of time in New Jersey and cruising around late at night and stuff like that. And I agree with him. I would think that any girl from New Jersey should be very cautious.
You think so?
I do,
Yeah.
especially, if Glenn Brummert's in town.
Yeah.
Hey, it's it's Tasty Tuesday over at Jerry's Sports Tavern, which is 150 yards behind us, probably not even.
Not even.
Straight behind us, right off Summer Street. Everything opens at 3:00.
Yeah.
They crank up the air conditioning.
Yes.
The pool tables are there. The munchies, and of course the beverages. And they always have great specials going on. So
Yes, they do.
listen, it's a perfect way to put a cap on your day, or if you just need a place to go and escape for a little while, go over to Jerry's Sports Tavern. Tasty Tuesday.
Yeah.
They got the panko shrimp going, all kinds of stuff.
And they have really good wings. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
They have really good wings. The
What was
beer's always super, super, super cold. I love it. I have to put a koozie on my bottle in there.
'Cause
That's
it's
how
so
cold the
cold?
beer is.
I think
Love
I think it was John Biondolillo who says that he loves going over there for the wings.
Yeah, he did.
Was there I don't even know. My head's in my ass. Was
Barb says even cows that show up on my birthday are cautious.
Yeah, and as they should be. Boy, that was an interesting morning. I'll
It
never
was.
forget it. Was there a Barry beat last night?
No, there was not, because there's no city council this week. But we did have a meeting last night. Some of the city Republicans got together and had our monthly meeting, and we would love more people to join, by the way. And Michael Booten made his official announcement that
Yes.
he is running for Barrie City State Representative.
Yes.
It is a write-in campaign at this point, and so write in Michael Booten for Barrie City State Representative.
Yes.
And he is running on the Republican ticket, and we hope to see him get in there and see some changes because the
Are
city.
you saying that change is needed?
Yes, and the city representation that we have currently is
What?
nothing but horseshit. And
Did you just say horseshit?
I did. And his opponents are Teddy Wazazak and Jonathan Williams. Need I say more? No, I shouldn't need to say more. It should be a done deal. Right in Michael Booten.
Okay. We can say that. Booten probably can't say that on the air,
But I can.
Yeah,
And
you
I
can.
will all day, every day.
yeah.
That unless we want taxes to continue to increase and the handouts to continue and the lies and the manipulation and all of that to continue,
Yeah.
if you're looking for that, then by all means vote for one of the others, but
Yeah.
if you're ready for change,
Yeah.
don't do it.
And maybe maybe join Barrie Values if you want to just get involved with all the bullshit.
Yeah, do something, but otherwise,
Talk smack about people that like they do so
right.
well.
If you are sick of it all, if you're tired of it all, education spending, the safe injection sites, which Michael is very opposed to. He would much rather see the money dumped into rehab centers and situations and making people go to rehab. Crime, those are the things, and most of all, the spending.
Yeah. Did you mention? I wasn't paying attention. The Sunday night rollover crash in Irisburg. Did you talk about that?
I did not.
All right. I guess a driver and a passenger, 21-year-old guy from Orleans, driving on south on Route 14, crashed at the intersection of 58W. That intersection, I've gone through there on a motorcycle. It's funky. You really got to be paying attention. So a rollover, and looks like the juvenile passenger was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. Let's see. Minor injuries for the driver. Juvenile passenger suffered significant but non-life-threatening injuries, both being treated at the North Country Hospital. Speed was a factor in the crash. Were we just not talking about this yesterday, Raylene?
Yes, we were. Of
Driver-
course, I know who Mutt and Jeff are, Glenn.
I'm just looking here. Excessive speed and enabling alcohol consumption to a minor is what the driver was charged with, and he'll be in court in August. Is there anything else going on in Vermont?
No.
Alec Baldwin, the trial is going to begin today. Have you seen the look on his face? Mm-hmm. He looks just pissed. He's arrived in court for the pretrial hearing. This is all related to the fatal Rust film set shooting case where, they're going to be fighting about who pulled the trigger and who didn't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's got the look on his face.
Yeah.
God,
He's an asshole anyway.
He's a
so
wicked asshole. And
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I've always thought that he was batshit crazy.
I'm sure he thinks that he doesn't belong there, that somehow he's been...
You're right.
know,
I mean,
he's above all of that.
yeah. His I would not want to be the judge for Alec Baldwin dealing with this.
I would.
You
Nail
would?
his ass right to a wall. Say there. How you like that, asshole?
I'm gonna show you the picture of this guy. It's unbelievable how pissed he looks. Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna just pull it up here. It's scary. This guy should be he should be in a horror film. I mean, look at that shot right there. Damn. Anyway, I literally think he's batshit. I really do. Would you want to look at? Remember this? Remember that picture right there, where he was on the phone?
Yes, I do.
Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's a wicked asshole.
Yeah,
So.
he is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alec, if you're listening.
No, we're not.
Texas officials say they're trying to restore electricity. It's going to take several days after Hurricane Beryl, a tropical cyclone, or whatever we want to call it, knocked out power to 2 million people, Raylene. 2 million
Crazy.
people. So still unleashing high winds and heavy rains in Texas. The other headlines in the nation: John Deere laid off about 600 employees from 3 U.S. factories. How sad is that? My God, 600 people. Not sure what the deal is there with the why. We have at least 100 shot and 17 fatally during the 4th of July weekend in Chicago. And just like you, I have heard so much about Chicago violence over the years, the gangs and everything. I mean, you just could not pay me to live anywhere near Chicago. 100 people shot, 17 dead from those shots just in a 4th of July weekend alone.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you know why? They did a documentary on this because a lot of murders are planned in Chicago for the 4th, in New York City, and L.A. during the 4th of July weekend because of all the fireworks going off. That the gunfire is going to be mixed in with all of the fireworks. So that's what these gangs do. They plan on taking people out on 4th of July weekend so that the sound of their guns aren't as noticeable. Isn't that crazy shit?
It is crazy. Absolutely.
God. If you want to say something, just jump right in, honey.
Oh, I will.
You look like you want to say something.
No worries.
Do you want to say something?
I'm good.
All right. We have Biden telling Democrats that he declines that he's going to step down and says that it's time to end the party drama. And meanwhile, he's getting just all heaps of pressure from his constituents and everyone in the Democratic Party that's telling him, Joe, you need to take the hat off and hang it up, Bob. What do you think? What do you think will happen? Do you think he will at some point, or is he going to continue
I don't
to be?
think he willingly will. No, I do not. I mean, yeah, I don't think he willingly will.
Well, I don't know how we can be totally forced out. I mean, is that even possible? Can we even do that? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Dr. Fauci pushing back partisan attacks in a House hearing over the COVID oranges. And this is going to show up on my YouTube feed. I know it will. And I'll be watching the heated court exchange. I love to. I love to watch all that crazy shit.
You do.
Yeah, I know.
Why am I not surprised?
Listen, your dad does too.
My dad.
He loves to watch the courtroom drama with
He
all
loves to watch
Congress
the news.
fighting.
He loves to watch the news literally from the time he gets out of bed until the time he goes back to bed.
Yeah.
It's all he watches, which is why he is depressed all the time. If he would watch Gunsmoke once in a while, he'd be all right.
The all-payer health equity approaches and development model could change how hospitals are paid for some services in Vermont. Vermont's one of 3 states that has been chosen this month to participate in this new federal effort that works to improve the cost of health care. The all-payer health equity approaches and development model could change how hospitals are paid. What do you think of that? Crazy.
It is crazy. And you know how I feel about the whole healthcare system anyways, where I really strongly believe that it's all healthcare for profit, and no matter what they say, and that there are way too many higher ups and not enough well-paid, skilled people, and that's why we can't keep nurses in our buildings, and there's such a shortage. I think the whole system is just screwed.
It's not going to launch until 2026, says Channel 5. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's gonna stir it up. Birthdays today. Gwen LeCount. What a great lady she is, isn't she?
Sure. I don't know who she
Yes,
is,
you
but
do.
she's a great lady.
She's the lady that sews on the patches there at the
Oh,
Bikers for Life.
absolutely. She's an amazing lady.
Great lady. Trevor Rossi on the birthday list. Greg Trolson. Tina Mayhew. Let's see. We have what? Tracy Haynes is on the birthday list today?
She is.
Damn. She's a pretty lady, isn't she, though?
Yes, she is.
I don't want to piss off Bill by saying that, but I mean, she's beautiful. Tracy Haynes, happy birthday to you. Josh Farrington, it's 35. Marilyn Deo, happy birthday. Gloria Lamore, you know her, 58 today. Let's see. Jocelyn Marie is 32. Kathy Hudson. Teresa Howard. There's a funny lady right there. You know Teresa Howard.
I do.
God, I love going into the Wayside Inn when she's waiting on my table. I screw around with her constantly at the Wayside. Wait,
And she gives it right back to you.
Right back. Will you just knock it off? I'm busy. I don't have time for this shit. Jessie Ann, happy birthday. Let's see. Anyone else? I'm just looking.
I have one.
Go.
Well, I have a couple. So my nephew, Jacob,
Yep.
turned 16 today,
Oh, my
which
God. What?
makes me shudder. Just the thought of that is like, oh,
He was
my
like-
God.
He was like 10 yesterday.
I know. But he turned 16 today. He,
Wow.
going to be getting his license,
Oh,
all of
no.
that stuff.
Oh, stop.
I'm petrified, but I'm happy and
But
excited.
a good kid, though.
Yeah. Oh my
He's
God.
got his
he's
shit
amazing.
together already.
He does have his shit together, and I'm super proud of him, especially what he has endured.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And
Yes.
so I'm super proud of him.
And-
So happy birthday, Jacob. I love you with all my heart, to the moon and back.
Yeah.
And then a happy heavenly birthday to PJ Plastridge, who was an amazing lady who had the most infectious laugh that I've ever heard in my life, and always had a smile on her face. And she was super spunky and kind of somebody that I always thought, yep, if I'm like PJ, I'm good with that.
Wow.
Because that's how she was. Yeah.
Nick Garant is on the list today. Marilyn Deo, I think I mentioned her. Melissa Gura and Eric LaFleche.
Nice.
There's a guy that he was old-time Froggy listener from many, many years ago.
Well, happy birthday to everyone.
Yes, happy birthday. We're going to call Mark. You ready? Mark Hauk.
Right.
Mark is this guy who I don't even know like how to describe Mark.
Hello.
There he is. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting out of the gym. I'm at practice. Hold on. There I go.
Mark is from New Jersey, and Raylene and I met him a year ago when he decided to take his completely nonprofit operation called Hold On, I'm Coming, disaster relief, and hooked up his trailer onto his Jeep and said, I see that Vermont is really screwed right now with this flood, and I'm going to head to that state. And he brought all of his disaster relief supplies, including more than 500 hot dogs, and didn't tell anyone he's coming, didn't need to, just showed up right here in Barrie, and he fed so many Vermonters
Yes,
for,
he did.
for days. Mark, we will simply never forget what you've done for us.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I'll never forget what you guys did for me. I mean, I love what I'm doing, and you know, after Sandy, and that's how this whole thing started. I lost my house in Sandy, and a lot of people came to help me, and that's when I swore one day I'm going to pay it forward. And when I got back on my feet, that's what I started doing. But I tell you, the response that I got from the Vermonters, I mean, what an incredible group of people. And I mean, I had so many volunteers, I actually got to sit down and watch the whole operation. It was an honor to serve you people. It was so nice to be up there. And it just felt good. You know, it really did. And you guys coming down and spreading the word. I mean, I didn't have to sleep in my Jeep.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Tell us about that. When you showed up, you didn't know anyone, and very quickly that changed, right?
Oh yeah, I basically roll up and I hope for the best, and the best usually happens, and I put it out on Facebook, and I got on a couple of your emergency pages, and someone's like, you know, I know a good spot, and I know a good spot, and I the night before I set up in the Walmart parking lot, and I actually had a couple people come up and meet me, and that's how I found that little park that I got into, and that park was Courier Park. Wow, that, I mean, I still, it's funny. I'll find myself reminiscing, you know, like Google Maps it, and I'll zoom in on it. And I'm like, oh, there's my park.
Yep.
But it's just so many good memories from you people.
And how quickly did people come up to you and introduce themselves to you and say, hey, how can we help? What can we do to help you helping us?
It really happened quickly. I was really surprised. You know, you've got a close-knit community, and they all kind of look out for each other, and I found that everyone kind of knew each other, which is nice. I come from a town like that where everyone kind of knows each other, so that felt good. I felt kind of at home with that. But, you know, just I've never even really been to Vermont, so I knew nothing about the place. I knew no people up there, and within 6 hours, I was part of the family, and it was great. I had people invite me into their homes. I had people I had a guy drop off a camper. He says, "You can stay in my camper if you want to." I mean, it was incredible, the response I got.
Did you stay in someone's home?
I did.
Yes.
But Brendan and Joan, they saw your podcast, and they came down and they said, you know, we hear you're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot. We have an extra bedroom. You know, because I mean, I'm giving everything away in that trailer, but I don't like to leave it alone, because, you know, sometimes people get desperate in these situations, and they might not have the best intentions in mind. So it's scary for me to leave it alone, because I know what's in it, and I know how valuable it is to so many people.
Sure.
So, you know, I want to give it away on my terms, kind of thing. So they were like, yeah, we've got a nice farm off the grid a little bit, and no one's going to mess with your trailer. And they had a good parking spot for me, and it was amazing. And you know, now I got 2 more lifelong friends, and I got a lot of them from up there. I really do. I mean, I got people that I stay in touch with and keep up to date with what's going on, you know, yourself included. You guys, I mean, you guys were the reason I was as successful as I was. You drew attention to where I was. I fed over 800 people up there.
Wow. Which is awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, I fed over 800 people up there, and you know, we kept our records up there, and I had, at the last day, I had 8 volunteers working with me. It was amazing. What great people you have up there.
And people were bringing more food with them,
oh yeah,
so that
absolutely.
it could go with what you had. Yeah.
they were bringing all kinds of supplies. I had people showing up giving, I mean, I only can carry so much, and my
Right.
supplies were dwindling, and people up there came through and they started getting more stuff. And then I had some cash donations, so I was able to go out and buy more stuff and buy more ice and do a lot more things like that. So I was able to just keep going while I was up there. And the reason I mean, honestly, I would have loved to have stayed longer, but once the Red Cross and the Salvation Army start showing up, then I can kind of like step aside. And once everything, my pride is that I'm the gap between when the emergency services pull out and the really big organizations start to show up. I just know from my experience, there's this void of 4 or 5 days where everyone just wanders around lost.
Yeah. For sure.
And that's kind of where I found my need is those first few days. So I get out of my house and I go, and my wife does the shopping for me real quick, and I have everything set in the trailer, and I'm usually gone in about 2 hours. And I set forth to where I'm going, and you guys weren't that far of a drive, so I got there nice and early, and there were still emergency vehicles there when I got there. So it was great, and it was really an honor to serve you guys.
Well, it was an honor to have you here, and I, for one, want to thank you for speaking with us this morning and reminding us what we sometimes forget, and that is that we are close knit and we do have each other's back, and no matter what, when the chips are down, we sure do. We pull together for sure.
You really did. You really did. And it was great to see it. Sometimes you just need that little catalyst to bring the community together. All I did was set up an anchor point, and people just came to it. And it was nice. It really was.
You wrote on July 24th, sometimes you just need to get away from it for a little. We provided that place, which was Courier Park, and it was a constant stream of people that were coming in and thanking you and grabbing a hot dog or two, possibly three. And here's the thing: it's like so many of us were in such a dire situation with our basements that were flooded, our stoves were. I mean, we weren't able to cook, we weren't able to take care of our kids, and isn't it remarkable how you don't realize when you're going to rely on something or someone as much, and you were that man, Mark.
Well, I appreciate it. As I said, I've been through it. I know what it feels like. I know that big open pit in your stomach. You're like, what do I do? And just to be able to, I had a lot of parents bringing their kids, and for that kid to grab a hot dog and just sit at a picnic table for a few minutes and forget the fact that, all their toys are gone.
Right.
And, just, hey, I'm sitting at a backyard barbecue, just reminiscing. It's nice.
And it was so unbelievably hot, which is what we're going through right now. I mean, the heat and the humidity, and I mean, so many of us were suffering beyond the floodwaters. I mean, geez, it was just horrific.
Well, I remember that one of the big problems you guys were having was you had water flowing, but you couldn't do anything with it. You couldn't drink it. It was all polluted. You couldn't even wash with it because it was infected. Like it was dirty. So I actually, through the trip down to Fort Myers, the trip out to Kentucky, and the trip up to you guys, I kept, every time I was driving back, it gives me a lot of time to reflect when I'm driving home. And I put together a trailer. Now I just need another body to go with me to pull it. But I put together a trailer that actually makes ice. It makes 500 pounds of ice a day.
Wow.
And it has filters. And so all I have to do is get a water source. I can even do it with gallon jugs. I can pull water into my machine, and I can make 500 pounds of ice a day. So in a scenario like yours, where they didn't have water, they didn't have ice, I can now supply that. So, I adapt and change each time I go to a new place. I think of new things that people need, and that's the new thing that I have now. I got this beautiful ice machine trailer that, and I travel with 200 pounds of ice in it because I have a freezer inside of it, so I can,
Wow.
if it comes up again, I'll have nice cold drinks the whole time I'm up there, and I won't even have to go out and buy ice. I can make it right there on site.
I got to tell you, both Raylene and I were getting text messages from so many people that were like, you got to get down to Courier Park. There's this guy down there who's giving out hot dogs. You've got to get down there and talk with him. And we did. We threw a microphone in your face. And Raylene, how many people watched that? It was one of our. It was a record.
A lot. Yes, it was a record. I'd have to go back and look, but
I'm pretty sure it was right around 300,000.
yeah,
Or
it was a lot.
260, I think it was, and it was all over the country.
Yes.
Well, and even we had some viewers in other countries in the world that watched that. I mean, this is humanity in its purest form, my brother. And
Yeah. I tell you what, it was funny when I was putting together my my business model. At the very end, I just threw in, and I thought it was kind of corny at first, but now I'm seeing it come to fruition. I put at the end, I just hope that through my actions, other people will follow suit and help people when they can, and that's what's going on. It's really awesome. It really is.
I said to you, and we the three of us got quite emotional on the air, and I remember saying something to the effect of, what do you do for a living? And you said you were a school teacher, and listen, let's just say it like it is. There isn't a school teacher anywhere in this country that's filthy rich. So even in New Jersey, and I know all things are relative, but my man, it's like, how do you? I guess my point is, how do you swing all of this? This is
When I came up with the idea, I put myself in a little debt. We had a little bit. I mean, it was during COVID when I really put the idea together, and we couldn't do anything. So I was still getting paid, and my wife was still getting paid. So we had a little bit of extra money, and I was like, if I want to do this, now's the time. But after my third trip, I had, through donations, had come back up to all the money I had spent. I had repaid myself, and everything I do now is strictly on donations, and that's how I keep it going. It's all through donations. People sometimes look for a place or a way that they can help. And I give them that vessel. I'm that thing, because they know that every cent that they give to me, I'm turning right back around and I'm giving it away. And some other organizations, people don't have that trust, and they know it. I mean, they see it. You were there, you watched it. When somebody came up, hey, what do you need? Hey, can you get me some mustard? Here's $5. Go get me some mustard. And that's what they do. And so now I've had a lot of great help from a lot of people, and I've been able to stay afloat just on donations alone.
Awesome. And how do people donate?
I get most of it through my Venmo. I get, sometimes people just send me checks. And I on site, I go to fairs and stuff, and I explain to people what I do, and people at the fairs give me donations and stuff. And I got a lot of stuff like that going on. So, there's a couple different ways that people can do it. I have a website up. HoldOnI'mComing.com. It's all one word. It shows it shows all the places I've been. I haven't gotten all of the pictures up yet from Vermont. I got to get my pictures up. I'm not very good at the I guess social media stuff. I got to work on that. But that website has information on how to donate and stuff like that.
Nice.
Have you thought about having someone come in and just completely take over and manage your social media? We know you're a busy guy.
Yeah, well, I try, but again, it's tough to get people as passionate about something like I am. It's tough to get people that are willing to throw that kind of time down. When things get heavy, people show up and they work hard and they do great things. But in the off time, when nothing's really going on, everyone kind of steps away from that. So I understand, I get it. For me, it's a 12-month of the year passion.
Yeah.
For other people, it's like, oh my gosh, people are in trouble. Let's help them, and that's beautiful. I need those people.
What kind of teacher are you?
Well, I'm a certified phys ed teacher, but now all I teach is my wilderness survival class, which is really an awesome class.
Wow.
It fit in very well up there in Vermont.
What do you tell your students about Vermont and about what you do and more importantly why you do it?
Well, it's a lot of it. I do a lot of pay it forward kind of stuff. I all of my kids in the school know what I do. They know that I go to disasters. The school supports me. The school talks about it. They put it up on their webpage sometimes. The school really supports what I do, and I think it helps the students. I mean, my teams, I coach volleyball, I coach track. My teams, instead of getting me a coach's gift, they donate to my nonprofit.
Wow.
And that means the world to me. That means you got through to them, They get it.
Are you getting national press? Have you been interviewed by Good Morning America or anything huge?
Nothing like that. I had a local, when I was down in Florida, I had a local newspaper or news agency from Chicago, but they were in the Chicago area. They kind of got it, but that's about as far as I got on that kind of thing.
And Mark, this all started because, tell us about Superstorm Sandy and what happened to you.
Well, Superstorm Sandy was, obviously one of the biggest storms that hit the Northeast in the last 100 years or so. And I live right on the water. And, we've been hit by hurricanes before and they were no big deal. But this one was different, and it ended up filling up my entire living room with over 4 feet of water. And, a lot of people lost homes and stuff like that. And our home was older. So our builder basically said, this is really unsalvageable. So we tore it down and we had to rebuild. And as I said, I had a lot of people come through. I lived with 3 different families over a year and a half while we were rebuilding our house.
Wow.
And, and that kind of generosity, it hits you hard and it hits you deep. And I'm like, I got to pay this back somehow, And that's really what started it. Is just I'm laying in other people's homes thinking, how am I going to repay these people?
And here we are.
Yeah. 1
year later, Raylene and I talk about you all the time and what you've done for our community.
Your community did a lot for me. I'd say every time I go to a place, and especially I think of you guys a lot, it makes me so firmly committed to the mission of what I'm doing, because I was like, so many people needed that help, and I was there to give it to them.
What other disasters have you? Most people run away from disasters. You run toward them. What others have you been to?
I went to Kentucky a couple years ago. I went to a flood in Kentucky. I served about 700 people out there. I went down to Fort Myers, Florida after the hurricane and served probably about 1,300 people down there. This is one of my other success stories. I had just gotten over COVID, and I had one of my former student athletes and her husband took my trailer because I couldn't do it, and they went out to Kentucky for a big tornado that happened out there.
Awesome.
And they were out there for 10 days. Yeah. So there it is again. One of my kids taking up the torch and doing it for me.
What's inside that trailer, Mark?
I have a lot of like the toiletry stuff, paper, toilet paper and cleaning products. A lot of people need those initial cleaning products, and usually the stores are wiped out. So I have some like rubber gloves and stuff like that. I have masks for people that have like mud in their basements and stuff. Of course, I have my hot dogs, and I have my chili and my sauerkraut and a lot of chips and stuff like that. And then I'll bring like breakfast bars. I have a lot of hot and cold drinks, Gatorade, iced tea, water, coffee, tea. Then I also have like socks, hats. I can't bring too much clothes. There's a limit on room and stuff like that. But socks kind of fit everybody. So I have socks. I have woolly hats. If, I obviously didn't need them in Vermont. Well, that last year it was super hot. But, sometimes at night it gets cool. So I have some hats for them, and just even rain gear and stuff like that. And just stuff that people run out of their house and don't grab. I even I've started collecting phone chargers, and because everyone runs out of the house with the phone, but they might not grab the charger. So I go to lost and founds at hotels, and I ask them if they have any, and they usually just, there you go, take a few, and I try to grab a few of each, and so that way if somebody needs one, they can take one.
Nice.
And I just give them away too. So, and I have my charging stations and stuff like that, and it's just it's as much as I can take in one little trailer. I have a weight limit, so I can only take so much. But and every time I go, I learn.
Did you get something bigger than the Jeep? And how big do you want to take this thing?
Well, here's the thing. I would love to take it huge, but I'm still one person.
Right.
As I said, not a lot of people can say, call into school or call into work and be like, listen, I'm going to be gone for 4 days. Something came up. And that's what I do, and as I said, I leave in an hour and a half. Even my closest of friends, I can't call up and be like, hey, listen, I'm leaving. You want to come with me to Vermont I'm leaving in an hour and a half.
Well, and I think sometimes going big isn't the thing to do. Just doing what you do keeps it personal and keeps it.
Yeah.
That's what you gave here in Courier Park, was a chance to breathe and have a moment and feel safe and relaxed. And the kids were coloring, making the little cards and saying something positive, and adults were making them too. So there's a lot to be said that sometimes the little things are the big things, and this is one of those instances.
Yeah, if the way I look at it, if I keep it simple, I can be quick. I can get into little spots that big groups can't get into. And that's what happens. I find myself, like in the Kentucky tornado, my students that went out there, they were in a remote area that no one could reach with their big rigs and their big trucks. And they had pickup trucks from the Salvation Army and the Red Cross dropping off gear at our location to help other people. So we became like an anchor point in the middle of where nobody could get to, because we were small enough to get there.
Nice.
But I did actually take a little step up. I got a donation of a minibus. Yeah, I got a donation of a minibus, so I have a place to sleep now. Even if it is in the Walmart parking lot, at least I can lay down and not have to just recline my seat in my Jeep.
Right.
So I made a bed in there, and that carries my generators, so that my trailers, I'm hoping to extend my trailer's life, lighten them up a little bit so that they can live a little longer. And so I now have that, but I again, I had the choice between a big bus and a little bus, and I'm like, little, please. I can't get too big, because then I'm outgrowing myself.
Right.
Wow. Have you had a chance to come back to Vermont and enjoy this state without an emergency going on, and maybe do
I haven't. I did get one day while I was up there. The one day it was predicting rain, and I can't afford to have all my stuff get soaking wet. So I stayed. I didn't set up one day, and Joan and Brendan took me around and showed me the sites and got me the what was it, the apple cider ice cream or something.
Yeah.
And And so I got to see it a little bit, but definitely not the way I wanted to. My wife did say that she would like to go up and see, it in its splendor instead of in its disaster.
You've got some friends now in this state.
Oh, yeah.
And man, we would love to have you, buddy. I mean, please come. We'll take very good care of you.
Well, I tell you, I have my little text thread with you guys, my Vermont people, the people that took care of me. And if I ever find some time, I will definitely send you the thread that I'm on my way.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll meet back and see how my park is doing.
Nice.
Wow, man.
There's a concert in that park every Thursday night with food trucks. So food
I
trucks
know. They
and
were
concert
telling
at the
me.
park on Thursdays. We have the Heritage Festival right up around the corner. That's a whole, 4 days of just absolute awesomeness. So many great things here.
That's what I love about small towns. They do stuff like that, and they mean so much to the people. And that's what I heard. It was great when somebody told me what that park was about. I'm like, that's my spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you restored. You fed a lot of Vermonters. You said 800. You restored a lot of faith, I guess, just to kind of try to find some words in just good people doing good things. And you had such a profound impact that goes far beyond the sunscreen, the chapstick, and the hot dogs and the cold drinks, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something else. It makes you feel good. And that's what it's all about. It's just, and restoring a little bit of faith in humanity is nice. And you know what? I get to see it too.
Amazing that a year ago we met you, and we hope that we are lucky enough to meet you again in maybe a different situation. But in the meanwhile, in the meanwhile, we say to our audience, get on Facebook and do a search for "Hold On, I'm Coming," and join that Facebook page. Follow that Facebook page. Give them a like. Give them some love. Post a comment. This is Mark, and this is what he does, and this is at the core of your soul. And God bless you and your wife for doing this for so many people.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thanks for just doing what you do and being good to that town.
Yeah, man. Please come back and visit us. All right.
You know what? I'm gonna do everything I can. I'd love to get up there and see you guys under better conditions.
Nice.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Take care, man. We
All
love
right.
you.
Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
We love you, pal. Mark Haug. Hold On, I'm Coming. 1 year ago is when that all went down, Raylene. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mark, for coming on. Anything else that we want to wrap up with this morning?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay. All right. Just checking our community calendar here.
Well, I can tell you, though, the word now that the word is out, so the Den is now open 7 days a week.
Stop it.
7 days a week. You
Really?
can go there. You can get some dinner. I mean, on Saturdays and Sundays, they open at noon, so they're open for lunch and dinner, but you can go get some dinner. They have an incredible menu of entrees and burgers and appetizers. And then the AC's always on.
Yeah.
Full blast. Just some really great things happening over there. Tonight is DJ karaoke night. So it's karaoke night. They have beginners line dancing first, and then karaoke. It's always a good time over there. So all kinds of great things happening all week.
Yep.
And they are now open 7 days a week. And
That's
open
remarkable.
at 5, Monday through Thursday. They open at 5. So
And a newly expanded menu, like you've been saying. Now you've been banging that drum for a while, and
Yes.
that's so exciting.
yes.
So exciting. I want to say another reminder: if you, like me, are in need of a really good quality pair of sunglasses, you have the month of July to take advantage of a huge sale that one of our sponsors is having, Optical Expressions, which is now on the 4th floor of the Blanchard Block in Barrie. And I think they did this last year. So if you are in need of finding a pair of shades that are really decent, that are going to protect you from the strong rays of the sunshine, you want to look good. You don't want to be walking around like I was last summer with the what are those big, huge glasses that the elderly folks wear there? Solar shields. God, did I look horrible. I mean, Sherilyn was constantly making fun of me. You look like a geriatric walking around with the solar shields on. Look at you. I'm embarrassed to be with you.
And then you have my girl glasses for a while.
I had your girl glasses, yep, which you loaned to me, and they ended up permanently. Yeah, and I got made fun of those too.
Well, they were girl glasses.
Well, listen, if you want to look stylish, and you want
Glenn.
I know you want to look stylish.
That's why I love that guy.
I know.
He loves to torment you,
I know
too.
he does. I know he does. You want to look good. You want not a cheap, crappy pair of sunglasses. You want a really good pair of sunglasses. Stop into Optical Expressions, because this month it's 25% off all in-stock sunglasses. That's both prescription and non-prescription.
Yeah.
25% off.
I actually just spoke with Will yesterday. He wants to come down here and join us in the studio soon, so we'll have to be making that happen.
Well, we should
Yeah.
make that happen right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because July is flying by. We're already 9 days into it. Also, we should mention that you can take 50% off a large selection of sunglass frames in stock only this month, too. So you like the frame, you walk in there, you say, wow, that frame's pretty slick. They'll put the sunglass in there for you. So
Nice.
friendly, local eye care professionals, they help you realize your best vision possible. State-of-the-art equipment, all at their new facility. Stop by, visit 14 North Main Street. Where the heck is that? 4th floor of the Blanchard Block, right next to the Opera House. Open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And it's simple. oeberlin.com. That's their website. 25% off all in-stock sunglasses this month at Optical Expressions. We got a lot of stuff that's coming up this weekend, one of which the Vermont Ravens. You see I'm wearing their shirt here. They're playing Sunday, July 14th, at their new location at Norwich University. 2 p.m. game against the New England Bombers.
And the proceeds of the ticket sales that day go to the Vermont Kidney Association.
Thank you. I forgot about that. Thank you for mentioning that.
So buy those tickets. Great cause, great people to support.
Yep. And we will continue to support them and talk about them often.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having fun with us this morning. And, just kicking back and relaxing. And, again, we are well aware of the weather situation, and the torrential is the word that Channel 5 is using. Rains that are coming in, that are headed our way. The remnants of this Hurricane Beryl, we're well aware of it. We're watching things. We're paying attention to what's being said. With Vermont Emergency Management, we're in touch with our Deputy Chief, Joe Aldsworth. We're 1 year. Tomorrow, the 10th of July, exactly 1 year, we're going to be out and about right here in the Granite City. I'm planning on heading to the North End tomorrow morning and showing folks how we're doing 1 year later. And we will be in the pouring rain. And we will be with Dan Molind from Enough Ministries, who spearheaded the Hope Coalition as a response to everything. And it's going to be a big morning. It's going to be a big morning tomorrow. Join us. Don't forget. Raylene, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
And to everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day. God bless. And take good care of one another. Check on your neighbors today with all the heat, all right? Be good.